Coach Arnett, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
I had them get their questions in early, so we'll start with Steve Robertson.
Coach, you guys have had some success, but we haven't had the victories, I guess, that we wanted. But so how do you kind of guard against those guys, from feeling like perhaps their effort is wasted?
Oh, that's not how a team operates, right? You win as a team, you lose as a team. When you win a ball game, that means you played good enough in all three phases to win, and when you don't win, you didn't play good enough in any of the three phases to win, because that's why you didn't win. So obviously there's always room for improvement. We've done some good things, but there's plenty of things to get a heck of a lot better at for us to reach our full potential.
Kind of following up on that too, you guys had a couple of almost scoring opportunities, on Saturday. Do you feel? Does it feel like it's just a matter of time before you guys get in the end zone?
I sure hope so. Obviously, you want to take the ball away, and even better than getting takeaways is punching it in yourself. Interception returns for touchdown, fumbles, scooping scores. Like you said, right? It got ruled a fumble initially, got overturned, but that would have been a good one for us, a safety there. That's you keep preaching takeaways and pursuit and effort to the football, and typically good things happen.
Next, we'll go to Tyler Horka.
Yeah, Zach, happened while y'all were on the practice field, so I'm not sure if you saw, but Coach Saban at Alabama tested positive for COVID, and it's been a while since I asked any of y'all questions about that, but just kind of how weird has the season been with you guys testing 2-3 times a week, and at any given time not knowing if one of those will come back positive, and then it could be you having to sit out the Texas A&M game, which would be a pretty big loss for the team, and just kind of surreal in general.
Yeah, I had heard something about that coming off. Obviously, our best wishes go out to Coach Saban. It's a different year, obviously. Prior to this, I wasn't used to getting a Q-tip stuck up my nose 3 times a week, but that's the way it is. Obviously, everyone's following safety protocols the best they can to stay healthy and get through the season. And everyone here loves football, so we're willing to go through these extra measures in order to keep playing. University's putting a great plan in place for us. Obviously, we got first-class medical staff putting protocols in place to keep us safe, and it's been great here.
Next, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Zach, I think y'all are ranked 5th in the country against the run right now. I was just curious, what do you kind of attribute that to, and why do you feel like you guys have been able to keep people in front of you in the run game so well? And is there any 1 or 2 things that you can kind of point that to?
The first thing I point to is it's awfully early in the season to be looking at any type of stats with any type of meaning to it. There's a lot of football left with a lot of really good football teams. So take all that stuff with a grain of salt. But like anything, it's players making plays. It means guys are taking on blocks and defeating blocks and doing a nice job of tackling. Typically, if you play pretty good run defense, that means you're playing pretty physically at the line of scrimmage, and you're not missing a lot of tackles. And so, we're 3 games into this thing. I'm pretty sure, though, we got the team who leads the conference in yards per carry coming in here Saturday, and they got a veteran offensive line with 4 or 5 returning starters. I think all 4 guys might be seniors. They got a dynamic duo at running back. Spiller, you see what he's doing to people. He's running through guys and averaging over 100 yards a game. So I wouldn't talk too much about our rush defense until after this one.
Next, we'll go back to Steve Robertson.
Coach, one stat about A&M that really stands out is just the 1 sack allowed. They've done a good job kind of keeping Kellen Mond bright. What kind of impresses you about their protection scheme and just kind of Kellen Mond as a quarterback?
It's. I think Coach Fisher might have said it, right? Look at all that experience they got on the offensive line. You got all them returning starters. Obviously, they're extremely talented. And then they have all that experience, so they've seen all the looks. They've seen the pressures teams typically. They've been fantastic. You want to give them another compliment. I believe they're 3rd in the country right now in 3rd down conversion percentage. 62% of the time they convert 3rd down. That is astronomical number. And and that's from a range of distances. Obviously teams are really good at third down because typically they stay ahead of the chains and they're in a lot of manageable third downs. Well, they got some third down conversions, at third and 10 plus. So they got a fantastic quarterback who makes all the throws. He's athletic enough to hurt you with his legs, and they got an offensive line who ain't giving up any pressure at all. And so not only are they running it down your people's throat, but then they're throwing it too. It's not too fun to watch on film.
Next, we'll go to Brian Haydad.
Which I'm not entirely sure I'm right, but I think Kellen Mond has probably started more games than any quarterback in the SEC this year. As a defensive coordinator, what can you do with a veteran quarterback like that who's probably seen just about every look there is to see to throw him off his game?
Hope and pray. You're right. He's seen it all. He's got the arm to make all the throws. He's got enough experience that he's seen all the different coverage combinations or blitzes, and so typically it comes down to players executing, right? We got to call. We have to have a good game plan in place that plays to our guys' strengths and put them in the right position, and then we got to let them play fast and go out and hopefully make some plays.
We'll go back to Steve Robertson.
Coach, a lot of junior college players, it takes them like half a year, even a full season to kind of acclimate to major college football. But Jordan Davis and Ty Wheat have been real bright spots for you. What are they doing differently that's maybe enabled them to be contributors this early?
Well, obviously they were here. Mid-year enrollees always helps because that means they had an off season in the strength program. Now some of them got cut short because of COVID, but I really think the credit goes to obviously those guys themselves for working themselves into shape and spending time in the meeting room and with their position coaches to learn the scheme. But the other group that deserves credit is our strength staff, because you get guys in mid-year and all of a sudden they got them physically ready to play throughout the spring semester and then the summer conditioning. Obviously they lost a few weeks there when we were all in quarantine. So the credit goes to Jordan and Tyrus themselves, but also our strength staff for getting those guys physically ready for the demands of SEC football.
We still have time for a couple more. Steve, go ahead.
Coach, has there been anybody on your team that's maybe pleasantly surprised you, some guys that have been gamers that have maybe kind of exceeded your expectations early on?
I don't know. I think we're awfully early again to be talking about anyone, doing anything phenomenal. Like I said, I've said it several times already. I've challenged those front guys, the guys with more experience, that they need to be the strength. They got all that experience and games under their belt. They got to play like it. And so a couple guys don't have any. Marquis Spencer, Kobe Jones, Errol. Obviously, those guys have kind of been performing like you'd expect them to, being seniors with that experience. We need them to continue to be. And then, we got some young guys who you never know what you got until they get out there and start playing. And we're not always doing it right, but we're kind of flying around a little bit, and so that always helps.
Great. Thanks for joining us tonight, Coach Arnett.
See you guys.